back to another edition of Backcountry Trails. Today we're going to be heading out toward Julian. We're going to be going to Cuyamaca Rancho State Park. And I saw a sign as I'm heading out there. This says one-lane road ahead. Imagine that, huh? They were having a prescribed burn, so I didn't know anything about that today. I don't know how they're going to do it today. It's the marine layer is pretty heavy, and I got to use a windshield wipers. It's almost like a light drizzly rain. So I don't know if this traffic that's in front of me is because of road work or part of the prescribed burn. I don't really know. But hopefully I'll get through this section. But considering I didn't see anybody on the road and there's this many cars in front of me, that leads me to believe that these cars have been here a while. So anyway, hopefully I'll get through this and get on the road and head out to Cuyamaca Rancho State Park. I'm heading up to Cuyamaca Peak, which by the way is the second highest peak in San Diego County. But anyway, wish me luck on this one. I might be here a while. 20 minutes later, it's finally our turn. I must have seen a parade of 200
Head
cars.
west on California 79 North.
That's my directions. Anyway, I've been sitting here 20 minutes waiting for this parade of cars. It must have been 200 cars heading west on Highway 79, probably toward I-15 freeway from out toward Hammett or out toward Julian or Warner Springs. So it's finally our turn. So I don't know if this is just construction or part of the prescribed burn. I have a feeling it's just construction because I don't see any fire service personnel. I just see construction trucks. So they must have some pretty heavy equipment out here. And I don't know how far this single lane goes, but it must be for a while. And it looks like since they've got them on us on this right side of the highway, they must be doing work on the left side of the highway. So I guess we'll know here in a few minutes when we get to the other end. Based on how long a parade of cars that was, I have a feeling that this might go for quite a ways. There was nothing in the Caltrans app. There was nothing on the traffic apps that I looked at before I headed out. It's all a surprise. Well, what a nice way to start the day, huh? Well, hopefully I'll get through this here pretty quick and get on the road. Well, I guess this is our big to-do. all this delay and all this traffic for this. I hope not. I hope that wasn't the only reason we were stopped to watch some guy with a backhoe. Maybe they got more going on up the road. Who knows? And there's we just passed another section. Yeah, maybe they're eventually going to widen this section of road. I don't know. If that's the case, this is not a short project. This is going to take a long time, like a year to do. And if that's the case, I'm going to be stuck driving through this every time I come out this direction, and that's not going to be fun. There's no other way to get out here. I'll have to do some research when I get home and see if I can find out what the plan is, and see what the expectation is. Looks like they're turning us around right here. So this is not turning us around. The pilot car is turning around. So it looks like this is probably the end of it. And there's another 100 cars on the other side of this closest. Yeah, police reported. Yeah, it's not really police. It's actually just, well, I guess there is. I guess there's a chippy here. He's monitoring traffic right here. So, but anyway, I think this should do it. I hope. I would think at the end of this we should be free and clear the rest of the way. I hope. Cross your fingers. Well, I made a stop just off the highway in just short of Warner Springs, and I wanted to show you that's not smoke. That's a marine layer, and the marine layer as it drifts in, you can see I'm right by this Quiet Oaks sign. You can see how the marine layer is dissipating right as it heads down the valley. It's kind of interesting. right, well, we're not too far from Julian. We got to go through the town of Wynola, but we have come into quite the fog patch here as we're working our way up toward Julian. According to the GPS, we're 24 minutes from the trailhead. Hopefully we'll get above this fog level. If I can even see the road. I mean, the visibility is literally about 2 car lengths. I'm down to about 25 miles an hour, and even that's pushing it. But wow, I haven't seen fog this thick in a long time. That's when you're kind of hoping that there'll be a car in front of you so you can at least follow their tail lights. At one point back there, I made kind of a sharp turn around a corner and I almost went off the road, so I got to pay attention here. All right, well, as we're continuing down toward Lake Cuyamaca, the peak directly in front of us with the antennas on it, that is actually where we're headed today. That is actually Cuyamaca Peak, and off to the left is Stonewall Peak, that little pointy part right there on the left is Stonewall. And even though it is the second highest point in San Diego County, it doesn't look like much from here. But the reason for that is that we're probably over probably 5,000 feet right here. So that's why it doesn't look like too much, but that's where we're going to be going today. The campground is going to be the Paso Picacho campground. We'll be coming up on that here shortly. It says we're 7 minutes from the trailhead, and we got out of the fog and the clouds and the marine layer, and it looks like it's going to be a nice sunny day. It's a little warmer than I thought. It was 52 earlier, and now that we've come out of the fog, it's jumped up to 58. And daytime high is supposed to be in the 50s today, so maybe we'll surpass that. I don't really know, but as you come around the corner here, you should be able to see Lake Cuyamaca off to the left. That red stuff down there, that's normally underwater, so it looks like water level's really low, but you should be able to see the lake here in a second as we come around this corner, and there it is. They also have a restaurant that overlooks the lake, and they actually have really, really good food. Me and my wife went there on our trip to Julian, and they also serve a Nickel Beer Company beer. So if you want something on tap, you can get it there. But we have to go around the back side, the west side of Lake Cuyamaca, around the dam, and then we're going to head on over toward the parking lot, which is directly across from Stonewall Peak. It says elevation 4640. So that's our elevation here. And so the peak is about 65, I think, and change. So it's a little less than 2,000 foot elevation gain today. Not too bad. Well, we were not too far from the parking area. Ooh, looks like that was a skunk. Ugh. Hopefully it won't smell too bad. Anyway, just past Lake Cuyamaca, and the campground looks like it could be coming up here on the right. Let's see if we have a sign here. What does this say? That's Paso Picacho. In fact, that's where we need to go. Fee area, self-registration required. That there would be somebody here. Oh, now I smell the skunk. All right. Please pay with machine to your right. Okay. Well, that's the kiosk over here. I'm waiting for it to authorize, and which it did. It just spit out my ticket. All right, well, I'm not too far from the trailhead, and I noticed this pathway with a boardwalk. Looks like this is where they have their interpretations. Looks like they've got a screen set up right here. It's kind of interesting. Looks like it holds quite a few people. Well, I haven't gone that far up the trail. And here's my first sign, the Azalea Glen Loop Trail, which is what I'm taking today. Heading up to the top of Cuyamaca Peak. Well, welcome out to Cuyamaca Rancho State Park out here in the eastern side of San Diego County. We're only about maybe 8-10 miles south and a little bit east of Julian. And this is one of the larger state parks. It underwent a massive burn years ago, and it's in the process of new regrowth. It's doing pretty well, but you'll see evidence of it as behind me here. You see all of the burned out trees, and all of the vegetation that's here now is mostly newer growth. And the reason I'm out here today is I want to go to the top of Cuyamaca Peak. Now, I haven't been to Cuyamaca Peak in probably 8 years or so. It's the second largest peak in San Diego County, and it's a little over 6,000 feet. We're at about 4,500 feet, I imagine, here, not too far from the car. So I'm going to be working my way down through the Azalea Glen loop, which actually makes a loop below the peak. So when I get off to a spot called Azalea Spring, I'm going to be taking another road, another trail, a single track actually, that goes up to the top of Cuyamaca Peak. And at the top of Cuyamaca Peak, it's got a tremendous view, as you can imagine, being one of the highest peaks in San Diego County. But it's also covered with radio and communications equipment. There's a concrete building. There's actually a paved road that goes up there. And so that takes a little bit out of it, but the view is spectacular. And looks like it's going to be a stunning day today. There's a few clouds off to the north and east, but it shouldn't be a factor today. Weather's going to be in the upper 50s. I think when I start climbing, the sweater's probably going to have to come off, but looks like it's going to be another stellar day here in Southern California. I haven't worn my kilt in a while. I'm wearing my McGregor kilt today, and I actually have something that I bought when I was in Scotland, my Scottish flask. I'm going to partake in a little sip once I get to the top. And let's head up. Well, just a short ways up the trail, you can see where we're going. Way off in the distance. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Hopefully it won't be too blurry. The very tip top, you can see the communications equipment. That's the top of Cuyamaca Peak right there. Well, this is my second little stream crossing, which is kind of nice. And from reading some of the trip reports from people that have hiked this trail within the last week, several things to note. A couple of people in the last week or so mentioned that there was quite a bit of snow at the upper elevations, and it was icy on the road coming down, but that was about a week after snow was pretty intense up here at this elevation. Julian got a ton of snow, and I'm sure this elevation they did too, but I'm sure it's all gone. But after the last episode up on Lookout Mountain, I decided to bring my micro spikes today. I don't think I'm going to need them. It's probably going to be just dead weight, but rather be safe than sorry. And hopefully we'll see some wildlife today. There are bobcats, there's mountain lions, there's coyotes. I haven't heard anything up here at this elevation about snakes. They're starting to come out at my house big time. I've seen 4 or 5 posts on the local residential applications, you know, like Nextdoor app and Facebook group messages saying there's a lot of rattlesnakes out by us, but at this elevation, probably not. At least not yet. It's still a little too chilly, but right now it's nice. I bet it's almost 60, and so I got to keep moving because there were 3 or 4 cars that pulled in right after me in the trailhead. I'm sure they're going to be heading up this way too, so I got to keep moving. I also read in one of the forum posts that there was a California conservation crew working up here, and I don't know if these are cuts from that recent group or not, but you can see quite a bit of work has been done to clear some of the down timber. And I read on the Azalea Glen loop, which is what we're on now, that there were some obstacles we'll have to go over and around or under, and don't know if this is the remains of it or what we've got is still to come. You know, as I'm working my way along the Azalea Glen loop, if you've never seen morteros, which are holes carved in the stone, made by ancient Native Americans. The women would sit here with their baskets of acorns, and they would use their mortar and pestle, and they would grind the acorns into a meal that they would use. This is a perfect example of morteros. There's quite a few of them here, so probably they had access to the creek back there. They would grind their acorns and make their paste right here along the Azalea Glen Trail. You know, Cuyamaca Rancho State Park is one of the few parks that doesn't get that much use. The location is part of it. It's a ways from San Diego, probably a good hour and a half from San Diego. And if you head east from here, you just head down into Anza Borrego. So there's no real civilization around here. And the higher elevation lends itself to some phenomenal snow in the winter. Even though it's not that high, it does lend itself to quite a bit of snow, and wildlife love it up here. Lots of squirrels, ground squirrels everywhere running. I bet there's a lot of hawks and raptors here too. So I'm working my way up to the top of Cuyamaca Peak. Well, this is a scenic little section of cypress. There are some oaks and sycamores, looks like mixed in. Pine tree or two. Nice and shady down here. Sun's trying to come through the canopy, but I can hear water running to my right. Don't know if that's Azalea Spring or not. Here goes a squirrel. Squirrel! Well, this looks like the first of maybe a few blowdowns along the trail. This one's an easy cross. Well, this is where it pays to not have a tall pack, so you can get through here. It's our second blowdown. Well, this looks like our third blowdown. It's not too bad. All right, well, here's another one. This one's going to be a little interesting. Do I go up and over or under? Well, there's a little log on this side. I think I can just swing my legs over. It's not too bad. Well, we've come out of the brush and into some breeze. I will take it. And some signs as well. Azalea Spring Fire Road to the right and the left. This is the direction we're heading. Well, Azalea Spring must be over there somewhere. Way off in the distance across the valley, that little peak, the extreme far end over there. I don't know if you can see that. My guess is that's High Point along the Cleveland Range, and then of course over this way you have Middle Peak. Well, it looks like I'm making a short, quick turn here up to the south and east, and I'm heading up the Conejo Trail. It says to look out Fire Road 2 miles. Peak is up that way somewhere. Seems like I went a long way out of the way on the other trail. Oh, this breeze feels wonderful. I know it's probably hard on the mic, but oh man, I was sweating up a storm back there, and there was no air down there, at least up here, and hopefully the rest of the hike I'll have a good breeze. Still got a lot of climbing to go. Well, I've got some words of advice for you. Avoid the Conejo Trail at all costs. It's all rock, and there's no air. Whew, it's hot. Well, what do you know? A little patch of snow. Should I get out my crampons? Hey, at least I got a breeze. I'll take it. Even though I'm cursing the Conejo Trail, as I'm working my way up, I do have a pretty decent view to the north. One Small success, I guess. Well, I was hoping I was done with the rocky sections on this bastard Conejo Trail. I guess I'm not. And all the rocks. And we do have a great view looking to the west. You can see way off in the distance, you can see, I'll try to zoom in here a little bit. That's High Point. Back in the distance back there, you can see Cuyamaca Peak. Above Anza, you can also see San Jacinto to the right, and way off in the distance, one with snow on it, is San Gorgonio. That's probably, I wouldn't doubt if that's almost 100 miles away. Well, this is in fact quite the scenic lookout. Looks like there's a couple of green roofed cabins down there as I'm working my way across Middle Peak and to the north and east. Stonewall Peak is that rocky one way up on the right. And down there is where I've come from.
Cleveland Goose Valley Fire Station.
I got Forest Service on the radio here too as well. And you can see how the marine layer comes in off the coast and works its way inland and dissipates as it gets over toward Julian. Well, what I noticed about this section of trail is not only is it horrible, it's hot, it's steep, and it's very rocky, but it also has some pretty magnificent coulter pines. This thing is 6 inches in diameter at least, and probably weighs a good 2 pounds. These are definitely widowmakers. These fall from a 100-foot tree, hit you in the head, you're going to know it. There's quite a few of them in this section. I'm getting there. At one spot I could actually see the top, but it was still a ways to go. I need a break though. Well, I am sweating big time. And I don't know if you can see it. That's the top of Cuyamaca Peak right there. I didn't have anything to eat this morning for breakfast, and I can tell I'm bonking right now. These are just some shortbread cookies. I got these in, actually, these are from Scotland. They're not, I didn't buy them, but they're actually made in Scotland. Kind of got the enjoyment of eating these with coffee in the morning or late in the afternoon with tea. And they also come in really handy on a hike. Well, I came out of the Conejo Trail. I could have continued on the Conejo Trail that way, but I'm going to take this paved fire road. It's a half mile, a little less than a half mile to the top. So I just have to work my way around, and then I'll be at the top of Cuyamaca Peak. And there I'm going to take a real good break. Maybe I'll brew up some coffee. It's been a hard hike. That Conejo Trail is no joke, man. It's all rock. We'll have to get that over with. But that's where I'm going, right there. Well, when they talk about the marine layer from the summit of Cuyamaca, this is what they mean. Way off in the distance is the Pacific Ocean. Well, I finally made it up to the top of Cuyamaca Peak. There's a nice little plaque and a summit sign and register, so I'm gonna take a few minutes and sign in here on the register. Add my name to the list of summiteers of Cuyamaca Peak, second highest peak in San Diego County. And the last couple hundred yards, I hiked with a guy named Neil. It was San Diego, UC San Diego grad student. He's new to this area and decided to come up here. And I gave him a little bit of the history, pointed out some high points from the top of Cuyamaca Peak and told them the story of Iris Kenna, who I'll hopefully get a chance to tell you more about on the way down. But first I got to sign in. Well, I'm working my way down from Cuyamaca Peak. In fact, Cuyamaca Peak is over that way. You can see the communication towers on top. And I'm taking the, it's called Lookout Road down. And you might think, well, this is kind of cheating. It's paved. Well, it's paved, but it's really steep. There's no switchbacks on this road. So if you're in a vehicle, you're fine. But if you're hiking up, it's a quad burner, and it's also just as difficult going down. It's a toe jammer, a knee cruncher, and a quad burner. So I have a strong feeling that tomorrow I'm going to be dying. But I passed a sign a while back that it was 1.3 miles to the Paso Picacho campground. So I'm sure I'm probably maybe under a mile, we'll see. But it turned out to be a gorgeous day. The hike was a lot harder than I thought. I was planning on brewing some coffee at the summit, taking about a half-hour break, but I got such a late start, and it took me so much longer to get here than I thought. I decided, you know, if I'm going to stop by the Julian Pie Company and maybe go buy Nickel Brewing and fill up my growler, I got to get a move on. So that's what I did. Anyway, I'll probably be back at the car in, I imagine 30 minutes. Well, as I'm coming down the Lookout Road from the top of Cuyamaca, it's a great shot of Stonewall Peak. It's an awesome hike. If you ever get the chance, head out there and do it. It's not too far. Got a great summit. Well, I made it back from Cuyamaca Peak out here in Cuyamaca Rancho State Park. It's only 1:45. I was a little faster than I thought. No wonder I'm tired. Normally I take a break at the top and I brew up some coffee and take about a half-hour break, get something to eat. But I was kind of in a hurry today because I got stuff I got to do on the way home. I'm going to stop by Nickel Brewing on the way, and then when I get down the hill in San Isabel, I got to stop by Julian Pie Company. I'm picking up a whole pie. I'm just going to pick up a slice for me and my wife tonight. But anyway, it was a good hike. It's a lot hotter than I thought. It's probably only, I bet it's 65, but it feels like 85 right here, right now. The sun is so intense. But ran into some nice people. There was a couple that were parked next to me here that just got done doing a peak over by, doing a trail over by Stonewall Peak. And ran into Neil, who was almost at the summit of Cuyamaca Peak. Talked to him for a bit. He signed in literally right in front of me. I showed him where the summit register was and the benchmark, so he took advantage of that, and I did too. Signed right behind him, and like he's in his car over here. So I'm going to finish my Gatorade. I didn't bring any beer because I got a whole growler that's empty. I'm going to fill up on the way home. I sure could use a cool one right now, though. You didn't see any snakes? No hikers other than the one. And his car parked next to me. He was a Hispanic gentleman who got out of the car right when I did. I don't know where he went. I never saw him. But anyway, it was a good hike. It's always a good hike. And a good day to be out on the trail out here in inland San Diego at Cuyamaca Rancho State Park. Now it's time for the growler. Well, I survived my adventure out to Cuyamaca Rancho State Park. Get the little receipt here. Heading out right behind the park ranger, huh? It was a little harder hike than I remembered. I don't think I went the same way this time. Last time I went by the Iris Kenna Memorial, and this time I did not. And the Stonewall Peak Trail is right across the street there. But anyway, I survived. It was 7.5 miles round trip. It was a little more than I remembered. But should have a nice drive out, and hopefully the Nickel Beer Company in Julian will be open. Oh, there's my skunk. Oh, there he is. there's the skunk. I smell him now. We are back in Julian, and lo and behold, there's the Nickel Beer Company. We're going to go in there and check it out. Get my growler filled. That's going to be the highlight of the day for me. I'm thirsty, and I need my growler filled. Looks like there's quite a few people here today for a Wednesday. I think I might just park right here. Well, I stopped by Nickel Brewery, refilled my growler, had a sample of one of their new ones, and then I'm heading out. I'm going to drive through Julian and then make a quick stop at the Julian Pie Company, pick up a slice of Dutch apple. I'll complete my day. Well, what'd you think about my adventure out to Cuyamaca Rancho State Park? On this adventure, you know, I took that horrible drive through all that traffic out to get to the state park, and I started up the Azalea Glen Road up to Azalea Springs and worked my way up to the top of Cuyamaca Peak, the second highest peak in San Diego County. It's like 6,511 feet, and it's only about 20 feet short of Hot Springs Mountain, which is the true high point of San Diego. But the one thing that I wanted to do, I didn't get a chance to film it, and I guess I just took the wrong trail, I guess. On the way up there, right off the Lookout Fire Road, there's a memorial bench dedicated to a female hiker by the name of Iris Kenna. Back in 1994, on December 10th, she was hiking up the trail toward the peak, was looking for birds, and was attacked and mauled and eventually killed by a mountain lion right there on the trail, the exact same trail that I was off of on the way up to the top of Cuyamaca Peak. And on this log that they've got placed at this spot, they have a plaque dedicated to Iris Kenna. And I wanted to show that to you, and I didn't go by it. I thought I was going to, because I'd been there before, so I must have taken a different trail, which I was pretty sure I was on a different trail, but I wasn't 100%. I thought maybe I would run into a intersection or something, and I never did. So I was a little bummed about that. I was telling the guy I ran into at the summit all about Iris Kenna and about what happened to her. And I kind of wanted him to see that memorial bench. And I was hoping he would go home and look it up and find out the details of Iris Kenna and how she was killed up there by the mountain lion. But anyway, I didn't get to see that. But when we were up there, and I didn't realize it was that long ago, it was 2013, so it was 12 years ago. When we were staying at Paso Picacho Campground, two of the volunteer rangers cruised through the campground in the evening, and they actually had the actual mountain lion that killed Iris Kenna. They had the pelt, because what happened was Fish and Game resources came out and they captured and killed the mountain lion that killed Iris Kenna, and they kept the pelt and they use it for demonstrations and for education, I guess, of campers and hikers up there in that region. So we got a chance to hold on to it, and I have pictures of that I want to show you. But anyway, so that was my adventure up to Cuyamaca Rancho State Park and to the top of Cuyamaca Peak. And I was looking at the map, and I was looking at the list of all the peaks, the high points in San Diego, and there was, you know, Hot Springs I've been to several times. Now Cuyamaca I've been to several times, but there's one I haven't been to. It's the third highest peak. And I don't really know how you pronounce it. It's like Cuyapaipae. It's Cuyapaipae. It's just a couple hundred feet short of Cuyamaca, and it's in the same general area. I thought, God, I've never even heard of that one, and I've never been there. And I thought, well, let's look that up. So I did. I looked it up, and it turns out it's on the Indian reservation, and they don't allow single hikers to go up there. You can only go up there as a group, and it has to be a led group. So I guess that's off the table. There have been people that have gone up there and done it, but it's trespassing, so I'm not gonna go that route. So that's kind of a bummer. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Backcountry Trails, my trip up to Rancho Cuyamaca, or Cuyamaca Rancho State Park, and my adventure up the top of Cuyamaca Peak. If you ever get a chance, go up there. I would avoid that Conejo Trail. That was horrible. I'd find another way to get up there, or just stick it out on the steep fire road. I don't know, but yeah, that was horrible. But views were outstanding. Weather was perfect, and now that spring is here, and now is the time to go out and see some wildflowers, and maybe on the next hike I'll see some snakes. You never know. So anyway, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and tell your friends about the channel, especially the new name, the Backcountry Trails channel. And I'll see you down the trail. Bye-bye.